evening, keepers of the cash. Here to be the casual comic guy here, and allergies are in full effect. They're destroying me, but it's not going to stop me. Joining me as every Thursday, mostly, we have Steve Tuesday. See how good I'm doing? Steve the Voice Boy. How you doing, Steve?
Doing good. Gary is on vacation like me, and the same goal that I have. Don't know what day of the week it is.
I wish I was on vacation. My life is so busy, I could use some downtime. Of course, joining us as a special co-host, none other than Mr. One Collection Down, Fable himself, Station Fable.
Station. What's going on, everybody?
And then, first timer to the show, his very first 1011. We are cracking that cherry on him and getting him on the show and getting him going. Stu, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing so well, man. Thank you guys for having me. I can't wait to get into it.
It'll be fun. So,
yes,
Stu, we're going to have you give the quick 2 minutes on who you are. We'll go over, say hi to the chat, and then we'll come back to you for your first book, sir.
Oh, man. I don't know if I got 2 minutes worth for you, but I'm Stu. I'm at Dr. Doom's Fan Club on IG and YouTube. Catch me there every Wednesday night. Me and my bro, Link, got a show, Supreme Clientele. We're breaking down comic books sometimes, like the past week's new releases. Sometimes we're going through, old runs or old story arcs that we love. Or right now, we're kind of in the middle of Secret Wars with all the news and everything that's happening with the MCU. So check us out every Wednesday over there, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Dr. Doom's Fan Club on YouTube. Also, I'm on IG every day, sharing books from my collection, talking about books I love, talking history. Just chopping it up with the community. So yeah, Dr. Doom's Fan Club on IG and YouTube is where you can find me. IG, I'm there every day. YouTube, I'm there once a week. Wednesdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that's good enough. Let's get it over to the crowd. And I got the wheels rolling. So we got Las Cruces in. Good evening, James. Nice to see you, sir. We have one of my all-time favorite people, Jerry the Jitterbug. Good evening, buddy. Nice to see you. We have Kevin from Entropy and Comics. Great to see you, Kevin. Hope you're having a great night, buddy. Paul from Psychedelic Comics.
Hey, Paul.
Good to see you, Paul. Mr. Chop and Drop. How you doing, Chop? Nice to see you, buddy. Always great to see you. And we have Mr. Mark Andrews in tonight. Good evening, Mark. He will be hanging out with Steve on Thursday. They'll be giving each other the COVID. And
don't fix it, Gary.
I know, right? Hey, we got Big Herb Collectibles. Good evening, sir. How you doing,
bro?
Station. Now people are getting their notifications, so in the next couple minutes, we'll keep seeing people pop in. I will just give them a quick tip of the hat as they populate in. But Stu, we're just going to bring it back to you, sir. We're going to let you. We're going to set you loose with your first book.
Oh, man. All right. So I thought first book, let's start with kind of where my comic journey began. I was born in 82, so I came of age when Keaton's Batman was becoming real big. And I know comics kind of grew up with Dark Knight Returns and Frank Miller, but for me, this Batman story was like a true coming of age, right? And you can see it's beat the shit, right?
Oh, shit,
I remember
loved.
Death in the Family, the death of Jason Todd. I remember begging my father to call this 1-900 number and cast a vote in. He would not let me.
That costs money, son. That costs money.
Exactly. At 7 years of age. But yeah, this was a seminal event for me. And, one of the bigger events in my childhood collecting era, this whole story arc was more advanced and grown up than I was ready for. Him and Jason Todd began this book by kind of dismantling a child trafficking sex ring, and Jason Todd's a little too zealous with his methods. Batman disciplines him. He goes on a run looking for his mother, finds her, eventually gets entangled with a Joker and gets beaten with a crowbar and blown up, man. And it was just so many iconic images. Like when I think about books from my childhood, this and the book I'm going to get to next are the big two, man. And I think it all started with A Death in the Family. And I've had this trade ever since I was a kid, way back in, I think this is from 88 or 89. So when I was 6 or 7, this is one of those relics that stayed with me throughout my life. So I had to bring this on as number 10. Absolutely. Batman Death in the Family.
I think that's what we all remember too when it came out. Reading that was just the book at the time, you know.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Nobody. I've never seen so many mean-spirited comic book fans want a person more dead than Jason Todd. Jesus Christ,
Dude, it was crazy. Like the
Right. But now
I don't
they
have
love
it.
him as the Red Hood.
Right, exactly, like the gun wielding vigilante. But the Mike Mignola, I don't have it like right on me, but the Mike Mignola like blood spatter Robin just never left my imagery. Just yeah, man, a seminal book for me as a kid growing up. So Batman Death in the Family is my number 10. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I remember when I read it back then too, because I was young. I was like, I couldn't believe that there was a number to call.
Yeah,
I was
right?
amazed in that too. It was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that in my life.
And then when they killed him, I was like, that's what he gets.
yeah, screw that guy. How
Just-
dare he? How dare he follow Dick Grayson? What's going on?
right? So who's this Jason guy? Who's this Robin with 2 first names? Screw that guy.
And he was such a brash change. I think it was just like a lot too much for some people, like all at once, and they didn't know how to handle it. And I know it was a close vote. I think it came down to a couple thousand votes in the end. I don't think
I was never a Jason Todd fan, but he had to be different. You can't just put another Dick Grayson in
absolutely, man, absolutely.
there. So,
But like they opened that with like this intro from like this Gotham professor, and I remember reading that as a kid and thinking that like it was all way too real. So that was one of the first comics that like really helped me grow up. Number 9, I don't think there's an event in my childhood more similar than this though. Wolverine, Fatal Attractions.
Oh, hologram.
Number 75. Yeah, hologram. I just got this signed by Kubert at Heroes.
yeah.
You can kind of see it. He signed it on he signed it on the hologram, which I feel different ways about. But
He ruined it. He ruined it.
Now we can't see the hologram, man. What the hell? Now I need a new book with another one with a hologram.
But regardless, then also like Bone Claw Wolverine here getting a crush. I got that
That's
one signed
good
at Wolverine. But
replacement.
like, dude, yeah, absolutely. Right? Much better. Wolverine, getting laid low though. This was like, besides, Batman, he was it for me, and this guy was untouchable. He was my Superman growing up. And when he had his adamantium claws ripped out by Magneto in this event, it was life altering for me. I couldn't believe it. And it was I feel like I've always been chasing that moment and that feeling ever since it happened. That sense of loss and despair and like total wrecking and ruining. I think it was just something so beautiful and unique to my childhood. And I know like a lot of it before and after and everything with the 90s is a tangled, it's a mixed bag. There's good and bad, but Wolverine number 75 and 79 are my number 9, man. Bone Claw Wolverine getting laid low was just like a moment like no other to me. It was great to see it on the X-Men animated series this past season.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Big Herm agrees with you. He says 75 broke his little heart back then.
Dude, same, bro. And
then I guess it's like been theorized that he ended up actually doing Wolverine a favor because the adamantium was always holding his powers in check. Yeah. And once he was free of that and his body wasn't constantly fighting it, he just got more and more powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was crazy just how they let it be years before he got it rebonded to his skeleton with Apocalypse, man. I don't know. And on that note, I just wanted to shout out Joe Jusko, this card right here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
From the 92 Marvel Masterpieces.
Look at that hair. That glorious hair.
Well, it just reminds me of the Deadpool Wolverine movie when they had the comic accurate Wolverine and it was just so funny.
Yeah,
the little short.
When he jumped off the stool.
Yeah,
that's what the adamantium was holding back was that hairdo, man.
Yeah, there you go, bro. It was that follicle growth. Yeah,
just like my beautiful locks.
You almost wonder why Magneto didn't do that earlier. Like, Jesus,
I know, right?
It's funny though, because I'm not the biggest Wolverine guy. I think he's cool, obviously, but I like X-23 way better than him. I always thought Logan was too the way they wrote him in the X-Men book, or he was just like too reactionary to Scott or Jean, and so I think he's best like when he's just on his own and you're not making him reactionary to others.
Agreed. Agreed. I think like when he's walking his own, I think those are the best Wolverine stories when he's kind of like walking his own path, like Old Man Logan and those things, like when he's kind of just dealing with the reckoning of who he is and his past and things like that. I think that's.
And I thought last year, the crossover, the Predator Wolverine crossover, was great.
I still haven't got to that, but Percy,
it is really good.
Things.
If you're a Wolverine fan, you'll like it because with how old he is, it's them stalking each other over the years. So it's not just one, and it's really cool. He's kind of having this like flashback to all the times that him and this one particular Predator that's hunting him have fought over the years, and he's just waiting until the Predator wins, basically. That's just like the setup. So I'm not trying to spoil anything for you.
No,
the read is good. So much happens in it.
Yeah, it's gritty.
Have you been reading Wolverine's the Percy Wolverine run? Have you been enjoying that?
No, because I've never really been a Wolverine collector. So no, I haven't. But I mean,
I tried this. Yeah, I gave it a shot initially, but then I fell off. But
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It took a long time to get going, but once that Sabretooth arc came,
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that Sabretooth War is where it's at. Yeah,
right, and it's tough too, guys. Like I got my diehard things I collect, and sometimes it's hard to afford things outside of that circle. So something may be really good, but it's like, well, not really in the budget.
Well, if you skim back on a bit of the Conan there, Gary, you can get some Wolverine, man.
Yeah, we all know that's not going to happen.
And it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard in 2024 to skim back on the Conan, like
right, especially with
there's too much. There's just too much out there.
All right, next book, Stu. Okay, guys, I apologize for my allergies. They are just destroying me here.
Fight through it. Drugs are good.
All right, so next one is a two-parter. One of my favorite Doom Iron Man tales of all time. This is a book I read. So Mom got me into Doom back in the day with Fantastic Four and a couple like What If books, honestly, but. This is one of those first Doom tales I discovered. I forget where I discovered it, but it's one like I was so overjoyed to be able to get in single issue form and put together again. It's Doom Quest, Invincible Iron Man 149 and 150. Doom and Iron Man travel through time back to Camelot. Of course, classic John Romita covers, man. And I love. There's so many moments in this that I love. I love. They get to Camelot and the knight is kind of like accosting Doom, and he tells him he'll be the first man in history to experience alternating current and electrocutes him. And I love how he goes off to see Morgana Le Fay. Iron Man sniffs it out. They both have to work together to get back in time. I just think it's got everything you want from a comic book story. How this hasn't been made into a mini series by Disney Plus is beyond me. I think this is ripe for the pickings for like a 6-issue mini. But yeah, man. Invincible Iron Man 149 and 150 Doom Quest. Just one of my favorite all-time comic book stories I had.
Well, that would be funny now, right? Because you'd have to shoot Robert Downey Jr. in both parts. He'd have to play against
Nice throwing in the Trovato clause there, Mark. The Trovato clause when you bring in two books.
Well, Steve, I was in doing my research and preparation for the show. I saw you do like a 3A, 3B, 3C. So I thought I'd try to follow suit.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And it's definitely not just 10 books. So yeah.
Well, in Steve's defense, Canadians can't count that well, so we just let them run with it.
I got that many numbers. That's it. That's all the numbers I got. Maybe the toes too.
Just building up all my Canadian hate. That way, I get I want to get that arsenic in the mail from the Canadian side.
Oh, we'll send a blizzard. We'll send a blizzard at you. No problem.
Right.
We'll hook you up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm only like an hour and a half away from Steve, so I get all the cold weather he gets.
Ice storm activated.
Right.
Jokes on you. Yeah.
Well, see, you got to be careful, right? Because they don't count well, but they can shoot a gun really well. So you got to be careful. Your ducking game's got to be on. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Lots of Canadians in the group there. Be careful.
Right? Can you send a bag of milk with that, Adrian? Because Adrian blew my mind that night that they buy their milk in bags instead of cartons.
Yep. And we have real beer too up
Yeah,
here.
you
Real
just blew
beer
my
with
mind.
real
Wait,
alcohol.
hold on. Let's go over that a little bit. Wow, what is that like? Like,
I know they have like
Is it-
pouches of milk in there instead of cartons.
We have plastic bags of milk, and we have to have these pitchers that we put the plastic bag into, and then you cut the corner of it, and you got a bag of milk in a little pitcher.
Wow.
And they
That
come in
sounds like
3
much
bags
more-
and
Uh,
3 bags in a bigger
much
bag.
more environmentally conscious. And then,
it's just over the border, and they never got the carton technology. It's
No.
tragic.
Yeah.
That carton technology has just eluded them.
Yeah, we're a country that we don't have a lot of paper up here, because there's not many trees,
I'm just making enemies left and right tonight.
I love you, Canada, for what it's worth. Zdarsky, Chip, you're one of my faves, bro.
Jed McKay. Jed.
Yeah, Jed.
McKay. Come on.
No,
Yeah,
dude,
let's
there's
go
no
through
kissing
them.
ass on this show.
Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, The Avengers, Canadian writing them.
Well, you know what though, Steve? Like, all joking aside, like the two biggest heroes in the world right now are two Canadian ones, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Absolutely.
They just saved the superhero movie.
That's it.
Yeah. Keep your damn
Blame
what he said?
Canada.
Keep my country's name out your damn mouth.
Look at, hey, hold up. We have
Will
cartons. We're
Smith
not
that
complete
Emma.
savages. All right, your next book, Stu.
All right. So this is a book that was like kind of a bridge from childhood to when I really got back into comics early in the COVID time. I was looking for books to read, and I remembered how much I loved this book as a kid, and recollecting it and rereading it was really a transcendental experience and really brought me back into comics full fold. So Marvels by Alex Ross. I know Kingdom Come is everybody's grail for him, and rightfully so. But man, these
those covers are just
these covers and this artwork throughout, like the Silver Surfer Namor stuff.
No, that was major. I remember when those came out, and that's like Alex Ross's first stuff, right? Like in Marvel.
I
remember when those came out. That was a big deal because we hadn't seen like Alex Ross. They give him that name, Timeless Variants. He really is a timeless artist. I mean, such a perfect name for what he is and what he did,
100%.
making these heroes look like they were really wearing spandex and stuff like that. It was just like mind-blowing shit when he came out. And that was major, man. Marvels was major when it came out.
Yeah, to Fable's point, I love how we have the perspective in that story of Phil Sheldon, like the investigative reporter, and it's like a normal human being kind of, and how he's interacting with these major superhero events. I just love that normal citizen's eye view of like these enormous events that were happening in his city and his universe. I thought it was,
and they did
like
a couple
art,
of series
man.
like that too, because I'm trying to remember another one they did, and it was all through this one detective's point of view, and it was really good.
Was it Marvels? I think it was like Marvels it was plural. Like, was it recent?
No, it was like kind of like painted. I forgot. It was really, I can't remember. I had it and I AOK'd it to someone because I thought it would be a better fit for them for what they were collecting at that time. But it was a good read, and it was just about this cop, and he's on the street and he's watching all these heroes fight around him. He's like, what's our role when this is happening? What can we do? And then it's just about him trying to protect his family and and there's something going down where his family lives, and buildings are being destroyed, and it's just like a cool perspective to see.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I loved about this one was like, Sheldon's like throwing a brick at the X-Men at one point, and then towards the end of the story, he's witnessing the death of Gwen Stacy and really empathizing with these heroes and like their circumstances. I thought it was just a beautiful tale, a beautiful way to kind of like set the history of the Marvel universe, from a citizen's eye view, and of course artwork, man. I mean, it was like really his stepping out on the scene. But yeah, seeing that, literally looking for, it was like, I think March 2020, it was early COVID, looking for books on Amazon to read. And I found the Marvel's trade paperback. Remember how much I loved that book as a kid, ordered it, read it. And from there I was fully back into the game. So I just such a soft spot for that book then and now.
Nice. And it's cool how we all have those series that just no matter what, it could be years and we see them and all of a sudden we're right back in again because it just hits you because it hits you the same way as when you first read it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Ross, I think just with his aesthetic and his appeal just has that effect on so many people. So Fable said it so well one time, like that guy could be doing anything he wanted to. We're so blessed to have him in the comic book game. With his skill and his talent, he could really be doing anything artistically he wants to. So I'm so glad that he's a lover of comic books and this is where he wants to stay. We're so blessed to have him.
Right. And right now we're having kind of a resurgence of painters in comics, right? With Perillo and Cohen and stuff, just people that do something different. Like we used to have in the 70s and the 60s when they were doing the magazines and they just had all these beautiful painted covers.
Well, that's where he brought me back to is because you remember the Bizarre Adventures cover with Iceman, Phoenix, and I believe Nightcrawler was on it. Forget the artist's name, but it's a Bizarre Adventures magazine style, very famous issue. And he drew the X-Men the most realistic way I've ever seen. Like, just like real people, how they would look in real life. And
right.
I marveled over that cover so much. So when Alex Ross came out with Marvels, I was like, oh man, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is the change I needed. Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Fresh perspective. All right, next one, Stu.
All right, guys. Next one of my favorite DC series of all time. I was lucky enough to meet this gentleman at Heroes and have a conversation with him and get him to sign my book. This is just one of my favorite covers of all time. I think it's immaculate, man. The Dark Side cover for Final Crisis. I met J.G. Jones at Heroes. Such a nice guy, man. So generous with his time and showed me some pictures on his phone, like a new book he's got coming out. I think later this year or early next, around a serial killer during Dust Bowl times. So yeah, Final Crisis number 4, the Dark Side cover. This is just like one of my favorite covers of all time, and meeting JG at Heroes was such a special event. So I had to highlight this. I love this Grant Morrison event too, as well. I love Grant Morrison as a writer, but this event for DC was super dope.
Is that like one of your favorite villains too?
I don't. Obviously, Doom's like a favorite villain. I like Dark Side is a little like I prefer my. If you can't tell, I prefer my villains a little bit more theatrical. But Dark Side's great is just like an end all be all, man. When you're dealing with this dude, like there's no more fun in games. You know what I mean? You're playing for keeps.
Right. I'm curious.
Yeah, exactly. When he shows up, it's time to go to put up or shut up. So
who's your Doom equivalent over at DC?
Man, DC, that's a good question, Gary. Who is my Doom equivalent? I don't know. I guess it probably would have to be somebody like that. Who's got brains and power on that level of DC?
We can let you stew over it for a minute while you do something else.
What about Constantine?
That joke's fully engaged.
I'll take that pun joke and think about it, man. I'm probably gonna need to come back to that one. All right, so where am I? I forget where I am on the minute.
You just did Final Crisis.
Okay, so next up, one of my I just highlighted this book on IG recently. One of my first purchases on IG, just buying comics on IG. And one of my favorite Doom comics of all time, man. Fantastic Four 84. A classic Doom cover, and Doom is doing so many menacing things in this book. He's just like everything you want him to be. I don't know. This is just a fantastic Doom story. Iconic Kirby art throughout, like inside of it. I think they made a couple of the pages in here variant covers later on down the line. But yeah, man, Fantastic Four number 84 is definitely a favorite of mine.
I never lose count, Mark.
Nope, Gary's all over it. Great book, though. I love how Doom's in the back, like crouching.
Yes, right. And this is like this is a theme we'll see so many time and time again with Doom, crouching over the city or standing.
Well, and I always like seeing Latveria in the comics. I always thought it was cool when we got to go to Latveria.
Yes, yeah, and really check it out.
Now, Stu, did you know that Dr. Doom appears in this Amoral Bubbles mini?
I did not, dude. Tell me about this.
Yeah, this is this is a set of 6 comics, and it had Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk, Archie, Sabrina, and Spider-Woman. I got them all. But inside, the main bad guy, I'll make myself big a second, just because you're a Doom fan, and a lot of people don't know about this little book.
Doom.
He is in this comic.
Oh man.
Doom bots. Where's the Doom bots?
It's not Doom. Doom has this surgeon, and that he wants to fix him.
Fix his face up.
But his ego gets in the way, and Spider-Woman shows up, and just a
That's
little
pretty
10-pager. But if you're a Dr. Doom guy, it's a good one to have in the.
I'm kind of disappointed. I heard you say Archie. I thought he was going to be like messing with Riverdale or something like that.
Yeah.
No. No, Archie was a separate one. They had an Archie one and a Archie with Betty and Veronica, and then they had a Sabrina Teenage Witch one.
Doom takes out Riverdale.
That would be beautiful.
Teams up with Jughead.
Yeah, send me the info on that later, Gary. I'd definitely be interested in that. I'm always trying to get one up on the homies on the Doom chat who have like the super rare, appearances. Like those guys play no games, so anytime.
And I think there's a 7-Eleven promo book I have too that Doom appeared in, and it has Spider-Man, Captain America, Spider-Woman, and Hulk in it, and I think Doom's in it too.
All right, stop giving away all them secrets, man. Let's keep it.
Let's keep it quiet.
Mark Andrews, you'll be proud of Gary tonight. He's making Stu spend money.
Well, yeah, I'm channeling my full Mark Andrews, costing somebody else money.
Yep,
that's amazing. I gotta find that. Yeah. All right. Next up, much like this print behind me, I got to meet Maria Wolf at Heroes Con, and this is just one of my favorite books of the year, man. This Doom one shot by Sanford Green. Such an amazing story. I got this bad boy signed.
What a great cover! Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool.
That's a good signature.
I know she's got such a cool signature.
That is very neat.
I wish I had her business card. She gave me her business card as well. It's just so dope, man. Such a dope lady. So easy to talk to. We talked about everything in life. Lending money to her sister, being a landlord. She's got real life things going on, but she was just so real and approachable. Such a wonderful
woman. One of your creators too,
right? And that was the thing, man. Heroes was my first big con, really, and meeting some of these creators that I had idolized since a kid, and definitely some of those experiences are everything you want, and some are not. Yeah. This was definitely Maria's
heroes, but no,
yeah. Maria was definitely one, and I got this one, and I also got the print back here that's signed by her as well. So shout out Maria Wolf, one of the best artists in the game these days.
Yeah, the day she comes out with a comic book like a Peach from Moko did, I'm all over that, all over it.
I wish more.
She told me she's got a.
Go ahead.
Yeah, she told me she's got a series coming out with Tim Seeley, like a werewolf type series, bro. So I don't know, the timeline on that was like a little sketchy when I pressed her for it, but I think she's been working on that for a good long while. So hopefully that's something.
You had me at werewolves. They're my favorite horror.
Right, dude. I think and given her aesthetic and her style of art, she would be so good for that.
Yeah, all over it, man. All over it.
Just tell me when it drops. I'm sorry, Fable. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Oh, check your IG. I just sent you an eBay link where you can buy that little mini
son of a bitch. Wow, you are the devil.
Oh, Mark is so proud of you.
The book title or something. You sent me the eBay link.
Mark is so proud right now.
Next level, bro. That's impressive.
Fable, you were saying?
No, I'm just saying if she ever comes out with anything that she's doing the interior art, sign me up, getting all the variants. I'm there, man. Just like Danny Warren Johnson. I'm there.
Yeah. Daniel Warren Johnson, maybe.
Now, okay. And what was her name one more time?
Maria Wolf.
I'm going to have to check her out because she's one I'm not... I saw that cover, but I didn't really think about... Is it just Wolf or Wolf with an E at the end?
No, just Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah, check her out.
Because some people that are named Wolf, they put an E at the end of it.
Could be all fancy in French, like Wolfie.
Right?
No, she's incredible.
She probably drinks her milk right out of the bag.
Yep, like I do. Just
like a
chug it, baby.
Like a
Milk out of the bag, and then you go outside and punch a moose and go back in.
That's it.
All right, next book, Stu.
Don't forget the Timmies, baby. G'day, eh? Gotta have that Timmy's.
All right.
Rich.
Speaking of Daniel Warren Johnson, one of my favorite covers of all time, this Beta Ray Bill homage.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
got him to sign this
cool.
at Heroes. Yeah, dude. I
Nice.
love this series. It's just one of my favorite series by him. Honestly, the guy can do no wrong to me, whether it comes with art or storytelling. So
Yeah, that was a good. That was
I
a
had to
good
grab this
series.
one
I
up.
read it too, and you really empathized with Bill in that series.
Right? You really like that's what I love about his writing is you always feel well, like if you connect with a book, you feel emotionally connected to the characters and some.
I mean, plus he was
significant
hooking up with Sif, so he had that street cred too.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Yeah, that was rough. That scene where like Sif kind of denied him early on, man. I know what you're saying. But yeah, this guy was also like my first the first table I went to at Heroes, and just so incredibly kind and nice with his time. So just shout out that dude, one of my favorite creators in the industry.
And they've done so many homages of that, and that's the best one.
Yeah,
Dude, he
great
killed it.
cover.
Yeah.
That's the best one. That's the best homage. No one's done it better homage in the original than that.
Oh yeah. Well said. All right, next up. One of my favorite current series. Again, another book I highlighted recently, Ice Cream Man. This is the MC Escher kind of homage, obviously. But I just love this book for everything it does, month to month.
Mhm.
For me, it's like waiting on a best friend to show up. I said that the other day on my IG. It's a book that hold your hand and laughs into the abyss with you, and while you're laughing, it kind of pushes you in. I love how it always takes you by surprise. It always does something different. I feel like we need books like that in our day to day, in our month to month, and I love how it tackles all aspects of the human experience: loneliness, depression, addiction, you name it. All the like the ugly underbelly of the human experience. I appreciate it for that.
And I like that horror has been making a comeback in like the last 7 years, because it was really kind of absent in comics for a long time. And there's so many good things to tell through a horror story. And one of the series I really like that I think no one really pays attention to is Silver Coin. I can't wait for that to come back.
Yeah, I love that. Michael Walsh and all that. I love that.
Silver Coin's amazing.
Absolutely.
And it does the same thing, right?
Not coming to Fan Expo.
Yeah. It's just a cool
man.
concept.
Yeah.
Now we just need an anthology horror series to come back on a streaming service, like a really good.
There we go.
Facts.
Yeah.
We need Tales
Ice
from the
Cream
Crypt
Man
or
would be
something like that.
perfect for an anthology series. I was so mad when that stupid company bought the rights, and then they went right out of business and threw my Ice Cream Man anthology series right out the window. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I didn't even know somebody about the rights for it.
Yeah, the Voopy or Voob or Voopy. I forgot the name. It's one of those little streaming sites that try to do these like bite-size 15-minute videos and stuff. Like they were trying to like predict the future, thought everybody was on some TikTok stuff, but they guessed wrong, man. They went right out of business.
Oh,
but
that was that app that had came out, and they were trying to do. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, it's some app. I don't know. They were
Yeah,
doing,
because
like,
I was on that
yeah.
for a minute, and they were going to do it. It was all going to be 15-minute shorts, and then it just kind of went away. They really promoted it. You were going to be able to watch something if you're like waiting in a waiting room somewhere. You put on a show, have time to watch it. Yeah, and it just
that would have
bombed.
been incredible.
Yeah,
Especially
but I agree with you, Stu. Ice Cream Man is a seminal title. I think it's an iconic title, and I think it's a modern classic.
Absolutely.
It's going to be sought after for years to come.
Absolutely.
And the covers they've been doing for Ice Cream Man are just off the frickin' hook. Like the variants you can get,
yes,
amazing. They're incredible.
Like that Jeffrey, I have it somewhere. I don't, have it with me, but that Jeffrey Allen Love that they just had, I think on the last issue, the issue before, and it's always like A or B, and they're always great. It's never A, B, C, D. There's only a couple variants, but they're always like super solid.
And Stu's in there going, just here's my wallet, just whatever, take it,
all.
take everything.
That's one I have no problem buying A and B for. You know what I mean?
Matt, Hot Dog Man over Ice Cream Man.
Oh yeah.
Crap.
All right. Gary, by my count, I'm on my last one before we get to the extended story comment.
That is correct. This is
okay,
your
good.
10. And then you got your storybook, and
yeah, storybook and spec. All right, man. Number one, Swamp Thing. Alan Moore's run.
Oh,
All right.
Yes.
This particular issue, Swamp Thing is this is post when Abby got held in custody in Gotham, and Swamp Thing went all out trying to free her, got a bomb dropped on him by Lex Luthor, and now he's kind of like floating in space. He's ethereal now. He's kind of like drifting, and he finds himself on this planet. This whole issue is done and nothing but blue, right? And just to me, this is like the height of what comic book storytelling can be. It's Swamp Thing kind of creating his own happiness and then destroying it, realizing it's all fake and that he has to move on. Like he can't stay here. Like he entertains this false universe and in his head for a while, builds an entire town and populates it with people, but it's all his own creation, and eventually he tears it all down and decides to move on. I love how also John Constantine is like the voice of his conscience in this, but it's a creation of his own mind. You know what I mean? But it's just beautifully done, man. And like I said earlier, I think it's poetic. It's a meditation on sadness and melancholy, and it's just one of those comic books that reminds me like what this art form truly can be. And it's just one of my favorite books, period. So Swamp Thing number 56, guys. I highly recommend this and anything from the Alan Moore run. You can literally pick up. A lot of them are just standalone great stories, not really.
Oh yes, they are.
In any way that are just poetic and
And what a great skull cover too.
Yep,
right?
Great choice.
Absolutely. Thank you, fellas. So that's my number one. So my comic for conversation is kind of a little bit of brown nosing, bro, but 2024 is the year I became a Conan fan. First of all, I got to shout out my bro. I got to shout out my bro Fable for putting me on the Todd and McFarlane Conan cover. I had to pick this up, bro. This is so sick. Right?
Yeah, him and Jim Lee did those two back to back.
I know.
Oh, for real? Oh shit!
Yeah, Jim Lee did other ones, but not in his regular Jim Lee style until then. He was just before he got his own style.
Okay. What if number 43? This tale is
it's so good.
Timeless Bill Sienkiewicz cover. This tale is so wild. Like how Conan goes from being a street pimp to beating down one of the brothers in the gym and kind of like taking control of a street gang and finding the way back to the top.
It's a story that shouldn't work, but it works so well.
So true. Like it's a good template for a what if book, man. And this Sienkiewicz cover is timeless. I just love
Do you
it.
have the other one too, where he's in the modern age?
I don't, bro. Which one is that?
Well, it's a newer series that's been out for a little bit.
No, yeah, it's a what if. So in it, he meets a taxi driver, and her name is Danny, and it's written by Roy Thomas. But the taxi driver is based on a girl that Roy Thomas had a crush on at the time. So in a Boss move, he wrote her into the comic, and now he's still married to her to this day.
Oh, I heard about that story. Yeah,
and it's a good story. And Conan's never out of character, and because Stan Lee was always trying to get Roy Thomas to put Conan in a modern comic, and Roy refused unless it was a what if story. He goes, "No, we're not doing that with this. This is something different."
Well, Savage Avengers, they got him in that.
Yeah,
one.
I was just
but that was like years later.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's another what if with Conan in the future, and it's him against a brick wall and the spotlight's on. It's really good.
Hell yeah!
I gotta find that.
I'll have to send you a picture. I got like 6 copies of it.
Here's the eBay link for that one.
Yeah, let me send you the link right now.
Homo.
All right, and lastly, just to speak on the revitalization of Conan, like I got this Juiceco. I started collecting the old Savage swords because of the immense amount of fun I've been having with these, man. Like this has made me into an old school collector. So yeah, I had to recognize whose house I was in with the comics talking about conversation. Honestly, man.
Oh, here we go.
2024. Okay. What
number is it? And I'm surprised that you don't have this other one I'm going to show you too, Spina. So
what if?
I think it is 13.
Number 13.
Oh, Mark's got it right there. 13.
Volume 1, issue 13. Yeah.
There you go.
Up against the brick wall. Gee, that looks like an homage to something we know about, 140.
Right, but it's a really great issue.
That's a great cover.
I am really surprised.
141, 142.
I'm really surprised you don't have this, which was great too.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
remember that one?
Now Wolverine straight up cuts one of Conan's hands off in this story,
I love it.
Nice.
and Wolverine marries Red Sonja, the she devil that won't be tamed.
That's
Cuts off a hand and takes his woman. Right on.
Right? That sounds amazing. Wow. So yeah, that my extended story was just like and I wanted to bring you into it, Gary. Like I feel like it's been such an amazing year for Conan. I feel like especially these Savage Swords, finding these stories within these stories. Like they got multiple things for you to enjoy, and just going back to that magazine like format and really
I love the magazine format, and I'm so glad they just
that's so
extended
incredible.
that series. They were doing a 6-issue tryout, and they just extended it for another year.
Let's
That's amazing.
go.
So how many more issues are we going to get? Do you know?
I think that right now they have plans for up to 12. So I mean, I'm sure if it keeps selling like it is, they'll keep
It'll keep
expanding
going.
it.
Yeah.
Jim Zub says that he's going to take Roy Thomas's title.
I
There
just
you
read
go.
I just read issue 14, which comes out tomorrow. I just read it yesterday, and it's good.
Yeah, man. I just heard
It's in the mail, baby. It's in the
so
mail.
many great things, and I got onto the Jim Zub run because of my boy Nick. But it like just going back and forth between both of them, it's been incredible.
Well, and I love Jim Zub's run on Conan over at Marvel because he did the 12 issues after Jason Aaron.
Yep.
Jason Aaron's run was good. I like Jim Zub's run a lot, so I was excited when Titan hired him. But then once I started reading Jim Zub at Titan, I realized how much Marvel was holding them back in those stories.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Guys, this is just incredible.
yeah, absolutely, man. Like the werewolf story, the one with the kid from the previous issue, and like just like each story to the like each like the main story and the Savage Swords have all been phenomenal.
If I was to give an
Besides all the other
award,
stuff.
if I was to give an award, Conan at Titan would win the award for best comic. So
Yeah, that and not only that, it's not even the colorists in those. They're using two different color artists, one that are each assigned to one to Doug Braithwaite and one to Roberto De La Torre, and the color work in those books has been phenomenal. Like it really immerses you in that age. Like it's just the style's great. It's just good. Wellbore, another good Canadian guy. I'm glad you weren't here earlier, Wellbore. Fable was bashing Canadians left and right, and I just had to calm him down.
milk in a bag? Milk in a bag?
Look, Brad's out in the oil field. You guys like gas in your cars? He can shut you guys down.
You can get real specific with it.
Well, yeah. Well, our
Nation, well, boy.
right. Of course, Brad. I'm picking on Fable. I was the only one doing the bashing.
That guy.
But all in good brotherly poking at each other fun. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, Mark. See, Mark's helping out.
Makes Stu big. Yeah.
No, that was Gary's personal story.
About Conan.
You notice though, those ex-police officers, they're kind of pushy, right? just saying.
Who said anything about being an ex?
Right?
He's very much still active.
I know he's probably got the Gary files up right in front of him. Well, this little
No doubt. Like, they're heading to your house right now.
Those are great. I always like seeing that someone else is enjoying Conan besides
Oh
me.
man, it's been incredible. Like it really has been the year I've been brought in, both on the regular series and Savage
An
Sword.
underrated character and something that's a great offset of if you're tired of reading superheroes.
Yes.
Right? There's
true.
a lot of good horror out right now. There's a lot of good alternative things like Conan and things like that are out there for people to read. Even one of Steve's favorites, Newburn, where you got like a detective story. So you got a lot of good alternatives to superhero storytelling right now.
Hell yeah. Newburn's been great.
Transformers, Warren Johnson,
My
Boy
OG,
Rivals,
baby.
let's go, Energon.
80s OG,
Yeah.
man, all back again. That's what I love about this era right now, man. They're just reliving the 80s stuff again. Thundercats is back.
Yeah.
Transformers is back. G.I. Joe with Larry Hama
With
at
Larry
the helm.
Yep.
Crazy.
Let's
Come
go.
on.
Let's go.
Now I just need to live in a world where Rom gets brought back with Bill Mantlo right now, although that'll never happen because of Bill Mantlow's accident. But Rom is just such a guilty. I love that series. I can't even say it's a guilty pleasure. It's written so well. It's actually
No,
great
that's not
stories
a
from
guilty.
issue 1 to 75. Amazing.
That's awesome. I need to get into Rom. That's a character I've always wanted to immerse myself in.
And there's some dark stories in there too. A lot of Rom is pretty dark.
Jackson Roykirk, you can make a drinking game out of Gary saying the word Conan, and you guys will be hammered. Just do shots. Do shots, okay?
Right.
Everybody take a shot when Gary says Conan.
And now,
Or Solomon Grundy.
I mean, Stu came on the show and he's got like 7 books to buy right now. He's got that Spider-Woman Doom book. He's got the What If
I can't believe I came on the show to show off books and you sent me eBay links. That goes to show, bro.
It'll
That
be a
goes to
battle
show.
between Gary and Stu. Who could say Doom more? Who could say Conan more? I don't know.
Well, that's it. It'll be we'll make it a 3-way drinking game, right? Doom, Conan, and Station.
There you go.
How about what about
Like-
milk and
Before the
Milk in the
before the
bag,
opening
milk in the
credits
bag.
roll, people will be blind drunk. They won't even know what they're watching anymore.
What the hell is this?
you people are out of control? What do you mean milk in a bag? Come on.
Right?
Carton
That's how
of
they
pizza.
get their beer too, Fable.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. in a bag.
Bags of beer.
We just hook it right into a vein.
Oh, I think old Stu is frozen here.
Stu is frozen.
He is.
Hopefully he
Let me,
didn't go out.
We'll wait
Because
for him
we-
to come back in. Well,
Yeah,
while
we
Stu's
still need
frozen,
the
we'll
last
go around the horn here. Steve, what's coming up? What's coming up for you in a great frozen north, buddy?
Well, I just did a comic book crawl in Richmond Hill, so I've got my stack of books here. So I'll be shooting a video on all the stuff I found.
Ooh.
Also, the Voices choices for tomorrow night because I'll be hitting my LCS after I go to Toronto because my passes are available for the Fan Expo. So I'm going to go into Toronto tomorrow, get my pass, hit my LCS, and then film that one. And then I'll be going live on Thursday with Mark Andrews at Fan Expo. We get in early because we have the executive passes there. So we get to go in and 2 hours early before everybody else, and we can walk around, and I'll try to do it live and see what kind of crap we can get into. So that'll be fun.
Do you need a special lens for that? Because Mark's like Chewbacca tall.
I'm just going to go sideways. We're going to go full landscape mode, and
Right.
it should be okay. And I just got to keep them in the frame and then try to keep
Keep 'em in the
myself in proportion. If I got them sitting down, we're good. Standing up, no.
Right. That's funny.
Jackson's our favorite internet troll,
Jackson.
No, you're not camera shy.
right? Fable,
Nice
what's coming
try.
up for you, sir? Anything?
Well, right now I'm on hiatus. I'm taking a whole break from all the social medias and the YouTubes and everything. I gotta really batten down the hatches and get my family out of this state. So I'm trying to get that done
Good man.
as fast as possible. But me and the crew were in the throes of PCP Horror Fest 2024, where we review a
Sweet.
bunch of
Stu.
horror movies. Stu's back.
He's back.
Stu will be joining us for a bunch of those movies. We just kicked it off with yesterday with the Paranormal Activity franchise. We reviewed all those horrible movies.
Oh, those things scared the
Yeah,
crap out of me,
they're
man.
not good. I don't know why people
No.
love them so much.
They're good. They're not good, but they scared the crap out of me. That first one.
The first one got me too.
When you got pulled
Oh.
down the stairs all the way down the basement, man, oh man.
Dude,
that-
that's a
Oh,
sign of a bad horror movie. If I'm watching
Oh.
a trailer and you see somebody do the horror drag, I'm like, oh, not watching.
Yeah, no.
Because it's so boring now. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, we
We went-
kicked it off yesterday with that one, and it was a lot of fun. If you want to check the replay, go to Pop Culture Philosophers for that one. And then we're continuing on Verno Blood Splatter Chatter channel, where we're going to do Carrie this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, man, come
Nice.
check us out. PCP Horror Fest 2024 in effect.
when are you guys talking John Carpenter's The Thing, though? That's the real question.
I don't think we're doing the thing this year, man. I don't think we're
Gary,
doing
I
it.
love when I was watching the
Man,
past show and you were
Gabriel
like,
might not get an
"That's-
invite back.
That's my comfort.
I
movie."
don't select these things, man. I don't
he's
pick
out.
these movies.
It was nice seeing you, Fable.
I'm sorry, Stu. What were you saying?
You can come on my
I was
channel.
watching a past show and you were like, The Thing is my comfort movie. Like a lot of people have different comfort movies.
What a
John
weird
Carpenter's-
comfort movie, right?
That's my whenever I want to relax, I put on The Thing. Like if I'm
love
having
that.
trouble sleeping, I'm like, I need my comfort film.
Really?
I put on John Carpenter's Thing. I'm like, I don't
That's what
That's your
people want to put on
Blanky
when they don't want to sleep.
That's your
so
Blanky
true.
and Binky. It's
Uh,
Blanky and Binky.
I've literally seen that movie over 100 times. I watch it a couple
Great.
times a week still. It's my favorite.
Modern classic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
Now,
that
Fable.
dog kennel scene comes on. You're like, oh, time for bed.
Fable, which carry are you doing? The OG carry?
OG carry, man. This
Oh,
Thursday, 9
my
p.m. If
man.
you're not doing nothing,
My
come through,
man.
Steve. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Excellent.
Stu, you made it back in time to tell us what's up with you. What's coming up?
Yeah,
We
Wednesdays.
still got to see a spec book too.
Oh, gosh, I really don't have spec books. Like, I got a couple I'm waiting on to turn into spec books, but yeah, I'll share them after this. Wednesdays, 9:30, of course, Supreme Clientele, Dr. Doom's Fan Club on YouTube. And then just check me out every day on IG, man. Sharing my collection, talking about comics I love. Dr. Doom's Fan Club there as well. And like Fable said, PCP movie nights on Monday. I'm there every now and again. I'll be on Blood Splatter Chatter this Thursday, most Thursday nights, with the homies Verno, Link, and Fable talking horror movies. Yeah, can't wait to get into the classic carry this Thursday. So y'all check us out there at 9 Easterns.
And now that you're not frozen anymore, we can get to your spec. But we had to fill the time.
Spec. Shout out to my boy C Bizzle. Waiting on this one to turn a pretty penny, right? I got 1A, 1B, right? And then this one, man. I've been loving this one recently, reading it.
Yeah.
So Geiger number 1. I know this one got option. Yet a number 1. So those are my 2 spec books or 3 spec books.
Does being option mean anything anymore? Like so much,
not really.
Right?
Like,
Exactly. Like besides
Doesn't
driving
mean-
up an eBay price.
And there you go. You just got a new subscriber tonight, Jerry the
Thank you,
Jitterbug.
Jerry. That means the world, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Absolutely.
It's funny because it's true.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if I put the thumbs up on there. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, we're good.
No, thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. But yeah, I was worried you weren't going to make it back in, Stu, because we were talking and then
with this internet, dude.
frozen.
I'm out here in the country, and unfortunately, my internet provider is not the most reliable. So yeah, it's always a gamble, but I'm glad I made it back.
Well, make sure those neighbors pay their internet bill so you can keep getting it. The nerve of those guys.
They keep changing their
Right?
Wi-Fi password.
Trying to undo my splitter.
Steve.
I can see Stu knocking on neighbors. Did you update your password? Because I can't get in.
Yeah, man. Come on.
What's
Like,
going on, guys?
No, but Stu, thank you, man. It was great having you on.
Man. Thank you so much for having me, dude. You're
And,
a wonderful
nights
person.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just want to say you're a wonderful dude. I love how you really, I feel like you transcend all corners of this community. You're friends with everybody, and it's just such an honor to be on your show and hang out with you guys. So thank you for having me.
Oh, please. This show's all about me meeting people. So, it's nice. It was great to meet you. Fable had said, look, get this guy in the show. I'm like, oh, I haven't met him. Oh, I can't wait to have him on the show.
mhm.
So, make sure you give your guy Fable some props over there because he introduced me to you. So,
Man, always.
That's how
Well,
this
I'm
community works.
the
Absolutely.
Kevin Bacon of the internet, bro.
right? we should do we'll do that. We'll do that episode one night, right? 6 Degrees of Fable.
So, yeah, there you go.
Oh, but no, absolute
Absolutely.
pleasure having you on, Stu. I'm gonna ask you back next month for in the hot seat, where if you want to get interviewed, and we'll find out about your comic book
Dude, I'm
beginnings and all that. That's just a straight interview show. So I had you on for the introductory 10-1-1. Like to have you back for in the hot seat.
Love to
Maybe
be
I
here,
can
bro.
twist Fable's arm to come back on and see if I have it in the bank that week.
Yeah.
$2.
He's costly. He's
You
costly.
might have to sell a couple of Conans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll give
I
blood
know you got
instead.
extras. I know you got doubles and triples.
I'll give blood instead.
Gary's pimping himself out on the street.
Right. But I want to thank my of course Steve being here every week. I want to thank Fable because I know Fable's busy right now and he took the time to come out to support
Thank
his
you, bro.
buddy and to support
Yeah,
the
man.
show.
Appreciate
Fable,
you.
you know it's always a pleasure to see you, sir. So station and thank you so much for being here with us
Station,
tonight.
guys. Always, guys, man. You guys are a good time all the time. Gary's like Stu said. If Gary asks you for a show, you stop what you're doing and you get on the damn show. Even if you're not ready, like I wasn't ready when he called me. I didn't have any hours.
You just bring it. Bring it.
Well, I appreciate it because this is just my stupid little YouTube channel. You know, it doesn't really mean anything. What it means to me is I get to talk to great people like you guys and become friends with people that I wouldn't meet in my day-to-day life and just my little area, right?
Mhm. We're
I
having
think
fun,
that's the
man.
best thing that
Yeah.
YouTube gives us is we get to make friends
Yes.
internationally.
Absolutely.
So true. Absolutely.
But no, great show. I want to thank our audience tonight. We'll thank everybody that was in the chat except for
Good
D Jackson
crowd.
Roy Kirk. That guy
Yeah.
can go through. No,
Love you,
obviously Jackson's great. We
Yeah.
love Jackson, but
We love
thank you, everyone who was watching tonight. We appreciate you guys. Tune in 2 nights' time. We're gonna have John's Comics with Kids on doing DVDs and
Oh,
Blu-rays. So he's gonna be
Okay.
discussing movies with us.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be great. If you guys have never seen John, John's amazing, a great guy, great personality.
Yes, sir.
And we just did a thing over at Whack Comics. If you haven't watched it, go please check out over on Whack Comics the expose on Cliff on Comics. The truth is exposed.
That
So
already
go watch
sounds
that.
funny.
You will
Wow.
not be sorry. We had a lot of fun making that. Of course, you know, if you're doing something with Whack Comics, you're having the best time ever. So go check it out and see how we were poking at Cliff a little bit. A lot of fun. But as always, guys, that's it for tonight. We appreciate everybody being here. And as always, keep it casual.